Oh, I fell in love working out the year 2013, but I've always kind of worked out as a teenager, even before that. But I remember my mom got me a Golden Flex. Remember those? Those Golden Flex wasn't a Bowflex, it was Golden Flex, a little bit different. And so I always worked out, but I started after 2012. I graduated from college, and I just couldn't find a job there in Las Vegas, so I decided to get back into the gym. And so I'm sitting on a bench, just sitting there, just got done with the set, and this guy walks up to me and he's like, "Do you work out or do you compete?" And I said, "Compete in what?" And he's like, "Bodybuilding." It never even crossed my mind. I'm like, because when I thought of bodybuilding, I thought of these great big old huge bodybuilders, like Arnold and Kay Green and all those guys. And then he showed me a picture of himself. And I came to realize that there's more than one category. So I started looking into bodybuilding and stuff, and I saw that Mr. Olympia was coming up that year, and there's a fitness model competition. And I'm like, that's what I want to do. That's a goal for me. So I worked my ass off in the gym, and I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know anything about competing. And I talked to one of my friends at work, and he's like, "Yeah, cut all your carbs for like 4 weeks and just eat tilapia, and that's it. Just eat every hour." And so I did, and so I competed in my first competition in 2013 for Mr. Olympia. I remember seeing about 130 some people in there in this competition, and I made it all the way to the 5th round. I mean, there was only 5 of us left. So, and they only gave first place to one person, and I remember standing on stage, and I'm just like flexing, and I just wanted to scream. I had no clue what the hell I was doing, and I remember all 5 of us went off stage, and then Michael Hearn was one of the guest judges, and he actually called me out of everybody back on stage. He wanted to see me up there again, and unfortunately, I didn't hear him say that. So I missed that opportunity, but to me that was always special. But even though I didn't win, I remember that night in my bedroom, I thought, what am I going to do now? Do I want to proceed on doing this? And the question was yes. And from that point on, I fell in love with working out. Some of my favorite moments of my accomplishments was, of course, Mr. Olympia. That's my that really drove me. And then after competing at the Arnold for the first time, that was, I got 4th place. And I remember my grandpa was actually on his deathbed that weekend. And I remember my grandparents telling him I got 4th. And he was very proud of me. And that really inspired me to keep going, and really drove me, because I want to make him and my family and everybody else where I'm from proud. So, and then the following year, I won first in the Arnold, and I wish my grandpa was alive for that. And then I also won Jay Cutler that year as well, plus the overall, which was very awesome. And then a couple years ago, I won the World Championships in LA, and that made me into a pro. So, and of course, I've won another competition in Vegas, Samson's Classic. That was fun, because that competition was really special for me, because I have a son, and I got him into working out, and he competed as well for his first time, and he got first place. So we both got first at the Samson, and that was really cool. Forbes Riley Spin Gym. The first time we met was because for Spin Gym, we both shared the same videographer, Doc A.J. Johnson. Sadly, he passed away this past couple weeks, but I remember arriving at her hotel room, and she's just so, it was like, she was so, I just knew she was special from the beginning. And she had me do this spin gym, and she went through all these kind of routines, and then she's like, okay, look in the camera and tell me, would you use this? And I'm like, no, I wouldn't. And because I'm all about bodybuilding, you know, I want to build muscle. I need more resistance. But then once I start giving it really a chance, and I tell you, this spin gym will kick my butt. And within, I would do it with one song, and I would break out a sweat, and it wears me out more than it is almost going to a gym. So I use it for stretching and getting ready before I work out. I use it to get pumped up, because not every competition have weights, so I use it to pump up. And I use it when on an airplane, especially going across country or going to a different country, because I need to keep my blood flowing, and so I use the spin gym about every hour for that. So it's a great tool to use anywhere you are, sitting down, at your desk, anywhere. So it's a great little tool. Work out. I mean, exercise and diet, of course. Those are the two things. And the best thing, in my opinion, is resistance training. You lose more weight doing resistance training than you would cardio, because once you step off that cardio machine, you quit burning calories. But when you do resistance training, you're breaking down your muscle fibers, breaking down your body. So then after you get it done, your body is still working to rebuild itself, which means it's still burning calories. And plus it still elevates your heart rate. So to me, resistance training is the best way to stay healthy. Being a bodybuilder, my diversities come in many different flavors. I remember the first one was my partner who I was with, and having somebody who stresses you out and constantly is putting you down and you getting ready for a competition, it does show up in your body. The stress shows up in your body. Other than that, you know, I feel like bodybuilding is really a selfish sport, if you want to call it a sport. I'm constantly working out 2 hours in the gym, and then after that I got to recover, and I can't do too much. I pretty much take a nap, so it takes a lot of my time. And you know, the money's not, it's not like you're going to get rich doing this sport, but you do it you don't do it for money. You do it for yourself. You do it because you like it, and to, like I said before, to make your family and friends proud. I believe our whole society has not been taught how to train correctly. I'm in the gym almost every day. I watch people. I see the exercises they do, and a lot of the things they do are a lot of traditional exercises, which can cause harm to their body in long term, and also in short term. I mean, an overhead press, doing this motion, is a horrible exercise. So is a dip. These exercises will tear your shoulders up, and so what's going to happen? You're going to grow old and be in pain for the rest of your life. And other than that, some of the exercises are not that efficient. So I see a lot of people wasting their time and actually hurting themselves. So being trained correctly is very vital. So I at least try to help one person out every day in the gym. I did have a mentor. It's kind of a funny story. I was in the backstage of Mr. Olympia and getting warmed up. I had this big old sweater on, so you can't really see my body. And what one of the prizes, first prize of winning that competition, was getting a photo shoot with a major magazine. So I'm sitting there and I'm pumping up, and some guy walks up to me and starts talking to me and asks me if I want to come to Gold's Gym in Venice Beach and do a photo shoot. And well, he happened to be one of the photographers there at the competition. And so from the beginning, I felt like I just won. So he said, sure, I said, yeah, that'd be great. And he's like, well, just make sure when you show up, be as straight as you are right now. I'm like, okay, fine. So a couple months later, maybe it's a month later, I forget. But I show up at Venice Beach and we do this photo shoot. And then after the photo shoot, he's like, "You mind if I do a video of your ab workout?" And I said, "Sure." So I did like 5 or 6 different ab exercises. And then about a month later, I get this video, and it has this guy critiquing every exercise I did and pretty much telling me everything I was doing was wrong. So there's 2 ways I could take it. Either I could say, "Screw you, look at me, I know what the hell I'm doing." Or I could actually just take the time and listen to what he had to say, and then I could proceed on what I want to do from there. So I gave him a call. I talked to him. He invited me to California to work out with him, so I did. And pretty much he changed my life. His name was Doug Bergnoli. He's pretty much a master in biomechanics. He's been competing his whole life as well, and he kind of guided me. He gave me the knowledge that I needed to know, because when I was in the gym before, I was doing all your traditional exercises, and I would question if this was the best exercise to do, because I don't want to waste my time doing an exercise that isn't that efficient. So he pretty much taught me the ropes or the rules behind biomechanics to make sure that every exercise that you do is the safest and most efficient exercise you can possibly do. So I give so Doug Bergnoli is my mentor, and I cherish and appreciate everything he taught me. Success. What is success? Success is achieving a goal that you have set forward, right? It's great if you win, you compete to win. You don't go into a competition to get second or third, you're going to win. But sometimes you don't win, and sometimes you feel like you did your best even though you didn't win. So in that sense, you do succeed. But then other times I'm like, I could have done something better. So, but it comes in many other ways. Helping somebody out in the gym is a success when they actually listen to you and they take your advice, and you just changed the way that you just help them in the long run to build muscle and do safer exercises. And that's a success to me as well. Well, there's 2 people come to mind if I could work them out the way I do. Number 1 would be Arnold. Of course, Arnold's the #1 bodybuilder in the world. Everybody knows him. To me, he is the most successful man ever, from being a #1 bodybuilder, a #1 action figure, and he was a governor. Come on, that's 3 categories as #1, in my opinion. So Arnold has something that most people do not have. I don't think anybody has. He has an exercise named after himself, Arnold presses. Well, this was a horrible exercise, and I don't know how many shoulder exercise or surgeries he's gone through, but I remember seeing, I know at least one. I've seen pictures. So I would like to train Arnold and try to see what his opinions and about how I train, and that'd be really cool to me. The other person who I would have trained and would really helped out would be Elvis. Elvis got all fat, and he needed some motivation. So you might just be able to live a little bit longer than he did if somebody actually helped him out in his fitness career. What program would I use for Elvis or anybody? The way I exercise will benefit anybody, man or woman, because we all have the same bones and we all have the same muscles that operate those bones. So my method is all about biomechanics, which are all natural movements. So I do not change how I would work anybody else out, exercise-wise. Now, sets and reps be a little bit different because we all have different goals, and I'll do like maybe 9 to 13 sets per exercise, where my goals is to be a bodybuilder and become as big as possible and as fit as possible. Might not be somebody else's goal, but doing the correct exercise to keep them safe and do reach their goal is important. What keeps me motivated? Well, number one would be my girl. I want to look sexy and healthy for her, of course. I love her to death. I also set goals to, competition. The Arnold is my favorite competition because I'm from Ohio and only 45 minutes south of where the competition is. So I get to go home and compete and see my family and friends, and the Arnold just has the atmosphere is like no other. It's my favorite, even over Mr. Olympia. And other than that, being health and fit, I want to look better than everybody. I want to stand out, So I like to be above average, and we can't be above average in every category. So at least I can be above average in at least one. What advice would I give myself? I would have started earlier, for sure. Many of us don't know what we want to be when we grow up, and we search. I was pretty much a gypsy for a few years when I was younger, and driving around from being a fashion model to going to school, becoming a technician. I mean, I wish I knew what I know. I wish I knew what I wanted to be back then, and it would have saved me a lot of grief and money, and maybe even be on that stage in Mr. Olympia. Have I experienced VR? I've seen VR before, but pretty much no, not really. So I think it's a great concept. I think it could progress. I like to be able to have somebody be able to walk completely around me and to really see the angles, because when you're teaching resistance training, it's all about the angle. So being able to see those correct angles will get you a better understanding why this is the best exercise to do, and help you in your fitness. Like I said, I want to see people, I want to be able to walk around. That's what I want to see. The more detail you can show, the better it's going to be. So what I want you to take out of this is, I want you to keep an open mind. A lot of people have egos when it comes to resistance training, thinking that they know everything. Well, resistance training isn't just lifting a dumbbell or a weight. It's all about the angle and the way the muscles actually work. So I'm here to teach you the proper exercises that's going to be the most efficient and the safest exercise you can possibly do. I'm going to explain to you why each exercise is best. So don't just assume that this is just a typical fitness course. So you're actually going to be learning the mechanics behind each exercise. And so when you get into the gym, you know exactly what you're doing, and you can actually start helping out other people. And you're going to get a lot of gratitude from that.